Welcome back to Whole Flip and Dump. Whole Flip or Dump, sorry. My name is Robin.
Hello, my name is Alex.
And today we've got 3 exciting tokens for you to analyze. We're going to do a short bit of analysis and just go through the surface level details, try and find out a bit about the tokens. And at the end, we're going to choose some allocations for our fictional portfolio and decide whether we want to hold them, flip them, or dump them. And it's just a bit of fun. This is not financial advice. We're not actually going to buy these tokens, but feel free to follow along for the journey. So let's get cracking. I'll just go over like the markets, vague like market metrics. So we've got trading volume in the last 24 hours. Let's have a look. It's been going up steadily, and over the month we're trading relatively high, and we're near like all-time highs in terms of trading volume, in terms of total crypto market cap. Sorry, that was market cap, not trading volumes. Ignore that. And BTC dominance hasn't changed much in the last few months, and stable coins steadily rising. Look at that. Haven't seen this chart in a while. Stable coins are really going up. They are at all-time highs. That's USDT, I assume, at the top. Yeah. Very interesting. So in terms of market cap, in terms of general crypto numbers, things are looking good, and Ethereum has been hovering around the 4K mark for a few weeks now. Nothing has changed much on that front as of yet, near 3,800 at the moment. Still haven't got back to the Bitcoin highs of a few months ago or a few weeks ago, but pretty stable, I would say. Alex, how are you? What are you thinking of sentiment-wise nowadays?
Yeah, good question. I think that the ETF narrative we're still waiting for that to play out. I feel like more people need to gain that exposure, and then that's when the money will come in. I think we spoke last week. I think it was. We spoke about the Ethereum ETFs being approved, and as we've seen with Bitcoin, it's taken a long time for that to play out. We've got a major resistance around 69K that we're finding there, and so I think that I think it's a matter of when, not if, and so yeah. As to when that's going to happen, we need to see. But crypto's on the news, on the mainstream news. We've got presidential candidates talking about this, and I guess it's just about getting crypto back on the mainstream news, and then that's when more eyeballs will get their attention on crypto. So yeah, let's see what comes up. And there's a few things that have been happening on the news, crypto news this time, of course. And I'll get started with Uniswap. So Uniswap was going to approve a very exciting proposal, but they've put a hold on this. So is this the end of Uniswap price? Let's see. So the proposal, as I understand it, would give a share of protocol revenue back to holders. Something that I think that's quite exciting. There's a few projects in crypto doing this, a few decentralized exchanges as well doing this. And we'll leave the link to this article in the comments. But the whole thing here is the Ethereum DAO, the Uniswap DAO was going to be voting to essentially get a portion of those earnings back to holders, and then they stopped it. One of the things that it's been spoken about in social media is that they're waiting to see what's going to happen with the SEC. The SEC is planning to sue Uniswap, and if Uniswap was to be given revenue back to holders, then it's yet another excuse in favor of the SEC to brand the Uni token as a security. So more trouble for it. So, well, this could have just essentially just made that price for Uniswap's token to skyrocket. Maybe this is the start for Uniswap not to go to new highs, but actually to start discovering new lows. What do you think of this, Robin?
It's interesting. It's a battle between the Uniswap holders and the SEC. It's like a three-way battle between the Uniswap Foundation, Uniswap community, and the SEC. And not all of their interests are aligned on this one. The Uniswap token price, I'm just looking at now, it's been really up and down. It's been spiking probably because people have been buying and selling the news. Obviously, the holders all want the returns, so they're going to be pushing for some kind of utility. There's always been this promise long term for Uniswap for utility, and that's been kind of hovering on the margins for a while. But yeah, it's kind of, I can understand why people are hesitant. The foundation, especially, hesitant to fall foul of the SEC and be labeled as security, because that would not be good for the token holders either. But anyone that's been a long-term holder of Uniswap is going to be pushing for some kind of return. So there's obviously a lot of tensions there. I'm not personally getting involved in this one, but I can understand both sides of the coin, really.
Excellent. So, and we move from a decentralized exchange to a centralized exchange, but not crypto. Are stocks corrupt? This was a big thing that happened in 2021, the GME saga. And super interesting, there's a documentary on Netflix that just runs you through this whole situation. But in short, retail investors, just individual investors in the US and around the world, they managed to win a price battle against some of the biggest institutional investors when it came to shorting GME. The summary of this is that the big investors were shorting, meaning they were betting against the price of GameStop stock. And the whole concept is, if you're betting against it and the price goes down, then that means that you get a very good return on this. Now, individual investors, super fans of GameStop, and just other degenerate investors, really, they decided to hold the stock, meaning that the stock wasn't selling, meaning the stock price wasn't going down. And in return, what happened is that institutional investors lost a buttload of money. I'm not sure if I can say a buttload of money, but there we go. We said it. Now, go watch this documentary. Super interesting. It was, I don't know, the most exciting thing that happened during the pandemic, I think, when it comes to these things. A lot of things happened during the pandemic. Let's move on. But Roaring Kitty came back online. We spoke about this a few weeks ago, and he shared this allocation. So I think we've got the allocation summary somewhere. But in any case, he's got a lot of shares of GME stock. Now, the thing that happened is the price, again, individual investors, your average Joe, decided to jump back into that GameStop investment journey. And the price has just been very volatile. It just jumped, as you can see on this chart on screen. What's funny is that it seems that a few retail investors are winning a bit of money against those big institutional investors. And what happens? Here we go. They stop the trading of GME stock. The excuse that they're given is to protect investors from volatility. Interesting how, when it comes to a lot of people like you and I making money, they put a hold on investing, but if it's the institutional investors not, well, that's up to speculation and for you all to do your own research and just form your own opinions. But I'd love to hear your opinion, Robin.
Yeah, this happened last time as well. Several exchanges and several retail outlets halted trading on these meme stocks because of volatility, or that's what they said anyway. And of course, the conspiracy theorists came out and claimed that it was the man trying to suppress the masses. But yeah, I don't know what really went on behind the scenes. Allegedly, there was a risk, there was a business risk from providers like Robinhood who have to they have to back up some of these trades, and if there's a huge amount of volatility, then they're at risk. So I think they were trying to cover themselves, but either way, this is a great narrative for crypto because the more these conspiracy theories come out, the more times, every time a big exchange pauses trading because of volatility, it's a huge advert for crypto because with decentralized exchanges, you can't pause them. There's no going back. There are no trading hours. There's no preferential treatment for institutional traders. It's everybody's treated equally on the blockchain. So yeah, I think this is good news. It's not technically like directly good news for crypto, but it's indirectly good news for crypto, and it's good to see. And also, this plays into the crypto narrative, like meme stocks and meme coins are very closely related, and we've seen some meme coin surges of late. Pepe has been doing very well still. Like it's up to, I think it's like 20th or something on the leaderboards. Let's see where it is now. Okay, it's dropped a couple of places, 22, but Pepe has been doing very well over the last few weeks. And that's what it's been. 2024 has been the meme coin year and also the meme stock year. And that just seems to be what's happening now. Let's see what happens in the second half of 2024.
Brilliant. You've got an article as well.
Yeah, actually, I was going to talk about GameStop as well. So you pipped me to the post. But look at this. Yeah, reveals $116 million bet on GameStop. So Roaring Kitty is heavily invested, and I think a lot of people just realized that there's another opportunity here for retail investors to make some money. And I don't know whether this has gone across to the other meme stocks that were big in the last cycle. There was GameStop and there was GME is GameStop. What was the other stock that was pumping because of this? Can you remember?
I actually cannot remember.
There was another one.
But we'll find it and we can share more about it.
Yeah, it was AMC, I think. It was that AMC stock price. Let's see what that's doing. What's that been? Yeah, that's nowhere near as much volatility. But yeah, you can see, I think this was around 2021 pandemic. The original meme stock rally it's not really translated back to AMC this time, but GameStop definitely is doing well. Okay, yeah, so absolutely. That's the news. Shall we move on to analyzing some of these tokens? Let's have a look what we've got this week. We have Jasmy Coin, which I know nothing about, but we'll do a bit of research in a minute. Arweave, which I am more familiar with. Arweave is decentralized file storage, I believe, or DePIN, as it's now known, and Notcoin, which I have no knowledge of. But the idea is we go in cold, so we find out what these are about. Do you know much about? Have you got any extra information you can give us off the bat, Alex?
So the only thing that I know about all of these, I'm more familiar with Arweave, and we've actually reviewed Arweave in the past. And all I know is that they're some of the top winners in terms of price action in the last 7 days. That's all I know. I can tell you as well about Jasmy Coin being an ERC20 token. Arweave is, their own native token for the Arweave blockchain. I think it's a layer 1 or layer 2. either one of them. We'll find out more in a moment. And then we've got Notcoin, which is a TON-based token. So the Open Network token. We've not seen a token, just built on TON that has done this well. And funny enough, the ticker is TON spelled backwards. So we'll find out more about this. So let's jump in straight to Jasmy Coin. That while it's had some significant movement in the last 7 days, it just doesn't register on the all-time charts. But I don't know. Let's go onto the website. Last week, if you've been keeping up with this content, you saw that we couldn't open any of the websites that we were trying to explore. But this so far looks good. It looks is it Chinese, Japanese? I'm terrible at identifying all this stuff. Looks Japanese.
Yeah. The interesting thing about trying to find the reason behind coins trending is that most of the news is just the price of the coin, and it's actually quite difficult to find out why people are buying at that specific time. But it certainly looks like since middle of May this year, there's been a huge spike in increase in interest, and the price has reflected that.
Do we know what Jasmy is about? Any information on CoinGecko?
Not that I can see. I'm on CoinMarketCap. Let's have a look at CoinGecko.
Because there's a website, jasmy.global, and it doesn't really tell me much. It just looks like loads of buzzwords being mentioned, and very typical.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like
there is a bit of more information on CoinGecko. It looks like Jasmy Coin is the native token of the Jasmy platform, a Japan-based project that allows users to control the use of their personal data and get paid for sharing it. In a nutshell, data generated from Internet of Things devices like smartphones and tech wearables is securely stored in data lockers on the Jasmy platform. Merchants pay to access these data lockers using Jasmy Coin. So that's interesting. It's like giving people control of their data. Obviously, there's big backlash with big tech having access to all your data, everything you put on Facebook, Instagram, any of the big social platforms will be used to advertise to you. So there's a big backlash against that, and these kind of decentralized data platforms have seen some limited success, and decentralized social networks have seen some limited success. There was Friends Tech, which I think I haven't heard much about lately, so I'm not sure if that's still going. But Jasmy Coin seems to be, I don't know if it's a social network or whether it's just a personal data platform. It seems to be focusing more on the devices and actual tech rather than the social side of things, but definitely an interesting one.
It seems that they posted a new roadmap for 2024 back in April. So maybe this is what is getting the community and their holders a bit more excited, and they maybe are restarting with a bit of the content and communication with the community. I've seen a lot of projects trying to do this now, trying to capitalize on this new liquidity coming into the market, and also sometimes just trying to rescue and bring things back. Not a lot of people survive the bear market, so it could be that maybe they didn't give a major push in the past couple of years, and they're just waiting for big things to happen. So interesting. It's a long article, so I might give it to ChatGPT briefly while we are exploring more data, just to see if ChatGPT would summarize this for me. But yeah, have you got Twitter open for Jasmy Coin?
Yeah, I've been trying to find some information. It seems like most posts about Jasmy are just bullish posts saying how much money they've made and not a lot of other information. 117k followers, that's a fairly good number, but of course they could be bots. The official account of Jasmy Telegram. Okay. Not sure why Telegram was referenced there, but maybe we're pleased to announce the MOU between, okay, so they're making some partnerships, BitPoints. So they seem to be like active, especially in the last couple of months. The posts they're posting have a lot of engagement, which is a good sign. And like you said, there's a roadmap which has got 128 reposts, which is a good sign. So generally speaking, some good activity around the project. Seems to be I guess you could call this a deep in project as well. Kind of storing data generated from Internet of Things devices. So if your doorbell is storing videos, then maybe you could store it on the Jasmy network instead of sending it to Amazon, which I know isn't a very attractive prospect for a lot of people. But not a huge amount of information. So maybe it's that it's more of a thing. There's more details in Japanese, and we're just struggling because of the language barrier. But there certainly seems to be some buzz around the project.
Yes. I mean, the article for the latest update to the roadmap just essentially outlines 5 basic points, but to be honest, it just seems like quite generic. They're just talking about enhancing security. They're going to keep developing the project and confirming partnerships, and they've got some plans for community and ecosystem growth. So again, just feels like a lot of buzzwords. But there we go. It has been gaining some traction in the past month or so. So yeah, around the beginning of May or so, it started just getting a bit of energy towards new price levels. But again, it doesn't register on the all-time charts from an all-time high of about $4. So still will require a lot of liquidity to get back to those levels. I don't really need to know more about Jasmy Coin. Should we move on to our next candidate? We've got Arweave. We've spoken about Arweave a couple times, I think, at least once. And
yeah, we definitely did a decentralized data storage episode a while back. So I think this was featured on that.
Yes, and I love how they just make it super simple. Arweave Network is like Bitcoin, but for data. So nice. At the time, I did create an Arweave wallet, and they used to reward people for just uploading and tokenizing, however you want to call it, content. The key thing is they wanted full transparency. They spoke about how things like news articles and declarations or content from videos, pictures, etc., could be manipulated. So the whole key was, let's just bring that to the blockchain. So if anybody tries to create a fake article, fake news and all that stuff, we can keep a record of this in a very public and uncorrupted method. And it was quite interesting, it was a very interesting project how they sold it to all of us. Arweave grew very much during the NFT boom because a lot of us that were creating NFTs were just adding the images to Arweave. Now all of this has changed because then people started feeling like I'm not going to pay Arweave fees. I can just store it on a AWS bucket, and a lot of the NFTs that probably a lot of us hold, that content is still sitting on a centralized server on AWS or Dropbox or Google Drive or anything like that. But anyways, getting momentum, not entirely sure why, so let's explore it. Robin, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's interesting to talk about the NFT storage because IPFS and Arweave were heavily used at the start when people were more worried about decentralized services, and it was more true to the decentralized nature of the NFT promise, the value proposition. But as the craze went on, as more and more people release NFTs, the necessity to store it on a decentralized file storage became less important, I guess, or just people stopped caring so much. And it's amazing how many big name NFT projects do not store their data on Arweave or IPFS. I was thinking about what the difference between IPFS and Arweave is. I can't remember exactly what the main difference is. I think we discussed this on the last episode, but I think they're both decentralized storage solutions, and they both have similar aims. Here we go. Here's some information. So Arweave uses a novel block weave technology that stores data permanently, and it incentivizes long-term storage by requiring storage providers to commit to storing data indefinitely. Users pay once, and they store the data forever. So that's different to IPFS, where IPFS you have to pin things to the network. So you actually have to host it yourself and share the file with other people, and you are then pinning the file. And if somebody stops pinning the file, or if there's ideally you'd have multiple people pinning it, but if anyone stops pinning it, the file gets lost, and you have this problem where you have these orphan collections where you have an NFT project that was once pinned on IPFS, but whoever was pinning it has stopped paying their pinata fees or whatever, and now you can't get the metadata, and it's just a dead collection or lost to the winds of time. Whereas with Arweave, it's much more permanent, and I think the economic incentives are different, and the kind of data retrieval structures are different as well. But here we go. Use cases. Arweave is suited for applications requiring guaranteed permanent storage, such as archival of important documents, decentralized web applications, and historical records, whereas IPFS is suitable for a wide range of applications needing decentralized storage and sharing, such as web hosting. Okay, so they're basically saying they're used for the same things. But
yeah, on Twitter, just when you were mentioning this, I found on the main Twitter account or X account for Arweave this tweet 7 hours ago, actually, saying don't confuse Arweave with IPFS, and just a very nice graph. We all like making graphs like this. Of course, we're going to show the weaknesses of our competition and the strengths of us, but just interesting to see how this kind of content is also online, and just there we go, that comparison that we're looking for.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, Arweave is much more it's like basically downloading an image from a blockchain rather than IPFS, which is just a decentralized network of servers. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know why it has suddenly spiked. Is there anything I can find on CoinMarketCap for the news? Dogeverse, sorry, and Arweave, no. Yeah, just it seems like articles again talking about the price movement rather than any actual value. So it could just be it's pumping for no particular reason. But I mean, fundamentally, Arweave is a deep in project. It's infrastructure. It's been around for a while. It's probably not going away anytime soon. It's not as risky as some of these newer projects, and possibly things like Jasmy Coin.
I mean, something that's been popping up is this hackathon. So probably, people are getting quite excited about it. Is the Arweave Day hackathon in 3 days. So on Thursday, odd day for a hackathon, but there we go. It could be that's what's getting people excited. Every time that there's a ETHCC event in Paris, for example, or whenever there's a Solana breakpoint event, prices go up. People get quite excited about it. Attracts a lot of people, and if you're going for drinks, it's like, hey, have you bought Arweave? Hey, have you got Arweave? People just start feeling a bit of FOMO, and they start buying it. So it could just simply be that, the effect that in real live events can have when it comes to Arweave. To price action.
Yeah, and Deep in general is kind of a zeitgeisty narrative at the moment. So it could be that Arweave is kind of riding on that wave a little bit as well.
I mean, why not? It's one of those narratives that's coming up alongside RWAs and, of course, meme coin. So why not? If you can leverage that, go for it. Should we move on to Notcoin or anything else you'd like to explore on Arweave?
No, I can't seem to find any concrete reason for the Arweave pump. So let's move on to Notcoin and maybe come back to Arweave. What can you tell us? So Notcoin is a token on the TON network, is that right?
It is, yes. And again, first time that we're looking into a token from the TON network. We have reviewed TON, but we've not really seen much happening on TON. And check this out. There's just a timer. The website is just purely a timer. That's all I'm getting. So
minimalist. I like it. So TON, of course, is the blockchain from Telegram, and we've talked about that in the past because it gives a very simple on-ramp. The TON coin itself has been doing very well lately. Let's see if we can check that price whilst we're talking about it. Where is it? It's quite high. Yeah, there we go. TON coin is 10th, and we've seen a really big, consistent rise in the last 3 months. Look at that. In a year, we're up from $1.76 to pushing $7. So we've seen a really sharp rise in that. And then Notcoin was released back in May this year. So it's only been around for less than a month. It's very, very new. And it's done very well since then. It's gone up to, started off at, what are we looking at? Somewhere around 1 cent, and it's now doubled in price, I think. Is that right? Yeah, doubled in price. What can we find out about Notcoin, though? What does it represent? What can I do with it?
I don't know. I'm still scrolling through their website. It's okay. So they're saying 35 million users from all over the world earned Notcoin. I'm not entirely sure what this means. So they've got a Telegram channel with over 7.6 million people. That's going to be a hell to moderate, but there we go. Tokenomics, love it. They've got the tokenomics over here. And what is Notcoin? Okay, so it's not like other coins. Okay, so it looks like they didn't really do like a major allocation to KOLs or VCs from what I can see over here. So could just be like a fair launch type of token.
It seems like Notcoin might be a meme coin on TON, from what I can tell. It seems like I don't know, the Twitter is very memey, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of actual content. So maybe it's one of those anti-coins that are trying to be the opposite of a security, like a meme coin.
Okay, yes, it could be. Yeah, because I can't really find a lot about this. So interesting.
There is a post here on Twitter. Notcoin was the first massive tap-to-earn Web3 application and the first to realize that the tap-to-earn mining phase should stop at all-time high, lol. And we should move on to the next phase to reward the community and build a sustainable ecosystem. So maybe that's a little bit of a hint as to the history. I can't verify any of this information at the moment, but it looks like some kind of community reward system, maybe incentivized social network of some kind would be my guess. But yeah, very little in terms of concrete information.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a meme coin, because if you have a look at the URLs they're using for the tokenomics, is the Telegram URL /notcoin scam /401. So I feel like, yeah, they're just going for that, I don't know, like meme coin vibes, trying to, yeah, they've got the tokenomics and information is on Notcoin scam. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So this article's crypto adventure Toncoin price surges as tap to earn management solution announces launch of ecosystem on Ton blockchain. So this could be related to Notcoin. Seems like Hamster Combat is another tap to earn management simulation game. This is the first I'm hearing of tap to earn, so it's a little bit of a learning curve.
So is it literally like tap? Because if you go on the website, they've got this little coin thing, and let me see if I can demonstrate this. No, it's a bit confusing. I feel like a boomer scrolling. Okay, there we go. So we've got this coin over there. I click once, it gives me a point. So it gives me a point. So I'm just tapping, and then there we go. This super fancy animation. So tap to earn. I'd like to know more about this. I'd like to know, I don't know, is it a game? I'm just literally tapping.
Tap to earn is a scam. Let's see. So could this just be a scam token? Possibly. Tap to earn is a scam. Everything you need to know. It does seem like the promise of free money. Let me warn you that Tap to Earn is a scam. Tap to Earn call themselves the #1 influencer network in the world. So this could be a network called Tap to Earn and not necessarily Notcoin.
Okay.
But yeah, this seems like a pretty sketchy project to me. I'm not sure exactly what the promise is, whether there's any value. Is it a meme coin? It's not clear.
Okay. Yeah, I must say that it's a bit strange, to be honest. But it could very well be that this is just a meme coin. In terms of balance in the smart contract or the wallets, there's about $500. So yeah, I'm not very familiar with Ton Scan or Ton Viewer, but it seems they've got a lot of holders. And yeah, I think that this is just changing my perspective a bit in terms of the other tokens that we've seen. I thought, oh, this looks interesting. Price is going up. It could be a very interesting token to allocate to your portfolio. But everywhere they're just leveraging the whole scam buzzword and just getting people talking about it. But what's interesting is you can see here one of the largest holders is OKX, which is one of the top centralized exchanges. You've got OKX as well. Gate.io is another of those high holders, Bybit and Binance. So you can see this directly from the Blockchain Explorer, how the largest exchanges are holding and essentially offering trading pairs with Notcoin. So that could be one of the catalysts as to why the price has gone up. It could be they got listed on Binance fairly recently, and then that's what's been driving that price to go up.
Yeah, that could be a good shout, actually. Yeah, I'm getting all kinds of red flags from reading about this. There are these kind of projects where you can invest in and then you can't withdraw, or there's some kind of mechanic, which means that you can't actually get your money out. The fact that it's listed on some major exchanges indicates that they should have done some due diligence, but that is not, by no means a green seal of approval. It's like quite often you'll get a scam coin listed on a bigger exchange, and then it will get delisted. But yeah, risky investment, I would say.
Yes, that's why everybody go and do your own research. Don't trust anybody really, and just be ready to put your work, your time and effort in understanding what coins are the best ones. So that being said, Robin, what is your selection? Hold, flip, dump. Go for
Okay,
it.
so we're going for an allocation, right? So I'm doing a 100% split between the three. Is that what we're doing?
Yes, that'll be quite good. Let me just give this a go. I'm going to, I already have it prepared here. So I set up an allocation of about 65% on Arweave, 25% on Notcoin, and just a 7% on Jasmy. So what I'm trying to say with this is that if I were to have a portfolio with these three tokens, the first one for me to dump would be Jasmy. I would just get rid of it as soon as I could. I would then flip Notcoin. Obviously, there's momentum. It's listed on some big exchanges, and you need very little liquidity to push the price up. So definitely potential short-term gains on Notcoin. And then I would hold Arweave. That's where most of my allocation is. So I would just recycle that liquidity. As soon as I dump Jasmy, I would redistribute that across Notcoin and Arweave, and then finally get rid of Notcoin and just leave the rest on Arweave. What's interesting is if I had set up this portfolio with this allocation back in April, this would have been my performance against Bitcoin. So that cannot be right. 80% better performing than Bitcoin overall. I'm just going to refresh this. Otherwise, I'm just going to regret things.
Well, I guess
there we go. Okay.
Yeah, that's much closer.
That's much closer. So all-time profit with this portfolio allocation compared to Bitcoin trend, very, very similar. So, oh, hold on. That's not the right portfolio. That's what I was like, Okay, I've refreshed.
Yeah, I was thinking I wouldn't be surprised if it is that big, because these are three of the best performing tokens in the last however long. So it's not that surprising, I guess, that it's really performing well. And Bitcoin has been more or less flat.
Okay. Well, so since April, that's when I've set up this portfolio allocation. Since April, if I had held these tokens, and if I were now to flip not to bring it over to Arweave, I would have performed an 80% better than just simply holding Bitcoin. So there we go.
The power of seeing into the future. I mean, I would agree with you on that kind of allocation. I think you want to have a large portion of the safer coin. Obviously, no coin is safe, but Arweave has got the history, it's got the credibility, it's got the big name investors. I would put 70% of my allocation, if not more, on Arweave. Jasmy coin has a good promise. It's solving an actual problem, and I don't know, we'd have to find out more about the team behind it, but I think it's really it's got a good story behind it and could be big. So maybe I'd go even as high as 30% on that, and I would just honestly put in 0% on Notcoin, because that is money that you might well be throwing down the drain. Very strong red flags from Notcoin, but it would be the first time a quote-unquote scam token has done well in the charts and turned out to actually turn people a profit. So we'll see what happens to Notcoin.
Yeah, we'll see. But there we go. So that's the review for today. More next week. And it's good that we've got this portfolio. We've got the dates. There we go. This was filmed on the 3rd of June, 2024. So then when we do our review at the end of the month, we can then go back and see if we were right or not. Other than that, I'm still amused by this 80% better performing that Bitcoin. There we go.
If only we had a time machine.
Right. If only we, just have our own TARDIS and just going back in time. And anyways, that's
another video series. Robin and
yeah,
Alex
there we go.
in their TARDIS.
Yeah, that'll be fun, right?
Cool. Well,
excellent.
Thanks for watching. Drop us a comment and we'll see you next week.